A Chemical Products Corporation employee opened an air intake valve. A rush of cold air in the steam line pushed up heated sludge onto the worker, causing fatal burn.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Let's go ahead and get to Boss Watch, because bosses are all the time breaking the law. Despite that, you only ever see mugshots of working people on your local news. Working people who engaged in various criminal activities as low as petty theft or trespassing. You might see their mugshot. What is going on? Do you hear that, men?
Yeah, sorry. I'm just getting the YouTube stream cut out for a second. I'm trying to get it set back up.
Whoops. Okay.
We're still rolling, though. Do your thing.
Cool. Yeah, so you're going to see the mugshots of working people on the local news all the time, but not the mugshots of bosses. So we want to provide a corrective to that. So here are a couple of highlights of the illegal activities of bosses in the southern United States and the American colonies for the week ending on December the 1st. Over in Florida, a federal workplace safety investigation found a South Bay Correctional and Rehabilitation Facility failed to follow recognized safety procedures, leaving employees vulnerable to violent attacks and injuries, including one worker who a patient reportedly struck in the face with a rock. The U.S. Department of Labor's Occupational Safety and Health Administration began an investigation into the incident after GEO Group Incorporated, which operates as South Bay Correctional and Rehabilitation Facility, a private prison, another thing that we should not have, private prison corporations. Not a good thing for society. Reported the worker's hospitalization 2 days after the incident occurred, which is a violation of OSHA's rule requiring employers to report an inpatient hospitalization of an employee within 24 hours. Agency investigators learned an inmate violently attacked a nurse with a rock enclosed in his fist as the nurse held the medical waiting room door open for a wheelchair-bound inmate. As a result of the attack, the nurse suffered a broken nasal bone and cuts on her forehead. OSHA cited GEO Group for a serious violation for failing to provide a workplace free from recognized safety and health hazards, including inmates' physical assaults which caused or were likely to cause serious physical harm. The agency also issued a citation for other than serious violation of not reporting workplace incident leading to an employee's hospitalization within 24 hours as required. OSHA assessed about $27,000 in proposed penalties for the facility's operator. And then just some background here. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimate the rate of non-fatal assault on hospital workers at 8.3 per 10,000 workers, significantly higher than the rate of 2 per 10,000 workers in all private sector industries. Wow. From December 2013 to January 1st, 2017, the GEO Group Incorporated entered into a corporate-wide settlement regarding workplace violence hazards with OSHA, requiring the company to develop a violence prevention and safety program that involved training employees and creating a workplace safety committee to address violence and patterns in its facility. The GEO Group Incorporated operates 102 facilities with a workforce of 7,500 employees nationwide. And the South Bay Correctional and Rehabilitation is a 2,000-bed institution that houses adult males with custody levels ranging from minimum to maximum security with 357 employees who care for them. And the company has 15 business days from the receipt of the citation and penalties to comply, request an informal conference with OSHA, or contest the findings. In the coal mining industry, the U.S. Department of Labor announced yesterday that its Mine Safety and Health Administration completed impact inspections at 13 mines in 10 states in October 2023, issuing over 200 violations. MSHA began impact inspections after an April 2010 explosion in West Virginia at the Upper Big Branch mine that killed 29 miners. To date, impact inspections in 2023 have identified over 2,300 violations, including over 600 significant and substantial and 46 unwarrantable failure findings. A significant and substantial violation is one reasonably likely to cause a reasonably serious injury or illness. Violations designated as unwarrantable failures occur when an inspector finds aggravated conduct that constitutes more than ordinary negligence. The agency conducts impact inspections at mines that merit increased agency attention and enforcement due to poor compliance history, previous accidents, injuries and illnesses, and other compliance concerns. Of the 215 violations that MSHA identified in October, 50 were identified as serious and significant, and 6 had unwarrantable failure findings. The agency completed October's inspections at mines in Alabama, Colorado, Illinois, Kentucky, Michigan, Missouri, Pennsylvania, Utah, Virginia, and West Virginia. The October 2023 impact inspections show miners' safety and health continues to be put at risk in ways that are completely preventable, said Assistant Secretary for Mine Safety and Health Chris Williamson. We remain troubled and concerned with the continued trend in our impact inspections. This trend includes inspectors finding violations that put miners' lives at risk, such as float coal dust, improper fall protection, and a lack of adequate workplace examinations. The Longview mine in Volga, West Virginia, was among the mines that MSHA inspected in October. Selected given its history of accidents and inadequate examinations, the mine is operated by Century Mining, LLC. The inspection found at this one mine 12 violations, including 3 serious and significant and 4 unwarrantable failure findings. The inspection led the agency to issue an imminent danger order. Specifically, MSHA found accumulations of float coal dust on 2 separate conveyor belt lines, resulting in 2 unwarrantable failure orders. Inadequate examinations on the same conveyor belt, resulting in 2 more unwarrantable failure orders. Inadequate examinations have contributed to serious mine accidents and have been identified as a root cause in several mining fatalities in 2023. MSHA has placed a priority on improving workplace examinations, including the identification, correction, and documentation of hazardous conditions to ensure miners' safety and health. They found two miners working for a contractor that were observed on a roof 20 feet above ground, wearing safety harnesses that were not tied off as required. MSHA issued an imminent danger order and a related serious and significant citation and withdrew the 2 miners from the mine. MSHA issued a safety alert in 2023 regarding falls from heights and continues to remind operators and contractors on best practices for preventing falls, such as designing an effective fall prevention and protection program, as well as providing task training. Violations are not just numbers. Each one represent a hazard to miners whose safety, health, and lives are being put at risk needlessly. MSHA will continue to enforce the law while also providing compliance assistance to mine operators so that the mining industry makes progress in reversing the troubling upward trend in fatalities. And just a reminder for our audience on the conservative radio station WVNN here in Huntsville, the Mine Safety and Health Administration is the government agency that Trump appointed a coal executive to head when he was president. And that same coal executive who Trump appointed killed a regulation that would save thousands of coal miners' lives from death by black lung. So that's a guy that loves coal miners, killing, literally responsible for the deaths of thousands of them a year. That's how you know he cares about them. Over in Georgia, a federal investigation has determined a Cartersville chemical manufacturer could have prevented a 52-year-old leach tank operator from suffering fatal chemical and thermal burns over most of his body in June 2023 by following required safety regulations. Investigators with the U.S. Department of Labor's Occupational Safety and Health Administration determined that a Chemical Products Corporation employee on the job just 2 months opened an air intake valve to inspect a noise coming from a barium sulfide wash cone with a steam line that was left open the day before. A rush of cold air in the steam line created a bubble that pushed up heated sludge onto the worker, causing fatal burns. A second worker suffered second-degree burns across their upper body. Before OSHA concluded the investigation, the agency learned that 25 days after the fatal incident, another employee inspecting a leaking gasket under a tank full of sodium hydroxide solution suffered chemical burns when the tank overflowed. The second incident remains under investigation. Our investigation found that chemical product corporations' failure to make employee safety a priority allowed conditions that cost a worker his life, said OSHA Area Office Director Jeffrey Stawawi in Atlanta West. Two serious incidents, just weeks apart, show that the culture at Chemical Products Corporation must change to emphasize worker safety and health. OSHA will continue to monitor and hold the company accountable until there are changes. OSHA cited the company for 5 serious violations after finding the company did the following. They failed to establish energy control procedures, creating thermal and chemical hazards. They failed to periodically inspect the energy control procedures, at least annually, while employees were tasked with applying lockout-tagout devices. They allowed slip and trip hazards to exist by failing to keep mid-tier catwalks free of corrosion. And they exposed employees to entrapment hazards by not clearly marking routes to emergency exits, and they failed to provide readily accessible safety data sheets for hazardous chemicals in the facility. So OSHA has proposed about $55,000 in penalties, an amount set by federal statute. Operating for 90 years, Chemical Products is an inorganic chemical manufacturer that employs about 136 workers. And the company has 15 business days from receipt of their citations and penalties to comply, request an informal conference with OSHA, or contest the findings. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.